Ooh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are on this rock, or when you hear this, or when it's uploaded. My name is Josh Jacko, and I'm the host of This Week in Sports. I appreciate you listening. I apologize for the delay. Some shit got fucked up with the production, but let's get right down to it. I got to give the biggest congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks, to your Milwaukee Bucks. If the three listeners are a Milwaukee Bucks fan, congrats. Congrats to the team. They were down 2-0. They came back 4 straight wins to win the NBA title, the 2021 champions. Wow, what a performance. Not only by actually no, it was only by one player in game 6. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 50 points. Guy gets 50 points in a game clinching, series clinching, title clinching game. Guy scores 50. Unbelievable. He wins the MVP, no doubt. It's obvious. Who else are you going to give it to? Giannis Antetokounmpo. Say that 3 times fast. He's literally only the 7th player in history to get 50 points in an NBA Finals game. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Phoenix Suns, you got to give them credit. They made it all the way. Chris Paul got all a bunch of heat because they lost. They were up 2-0. You can't give him all the heat because he's just one player of a team sport. But um, just the Bucks were destined. I don't know if anyone remembers, but in 2019, when the Toronto Raptors won the title, we had to go through the Bucks and Antetokounmpo, and we were the underdogs through every series during that playoff run. And not only did we take the 76ers down, we took the Bucks down, and we took the Warriors down to our title. But the Bucks, everyone was expecting the Nets, the Lakers, or these superpower teams to win, and because they're all-star teams. It's fucked up the way the NBA works. Like all these players jump on to the best teams, and it's bullshit. So the fact that the Bucks won, congrats on them, because not only did Giannis Antetokounmpo score 50 points in the game in the title clinching game, but it's also been 50 years since Milwaukee had a championship in the National Basketball Association. So, congrats on them. I'm not breaking any news there. So, yeah, not only to them but also to the Phoenix Suns. On another note, on a better note, on a bigger note, on a huger note to me, I am going to Toronto. I cannot fucking wait. I just booked my flight today. I'm going to T-Dot because when I heard, well, a couple of pieces of news that I heard that made me want to go to Toronto. First of all, I got word from my boss, one of the best bosses I ever had. Shout out to my boss. I'm not going to give her a name because she's not listening to this. But I was told that I have next Monday off for the August long weekend. So I was like, no shit. It was like the best news of my life. I wish I would have known it before because I would have booked this flight to Toronto before because I'm going to T-Dot to watch the Blue Jays return to Canada. It's their first time in Canada playing in front of Canadian fans in 2 years. It's fucking ridiculous. They had to play in the States because of COVID and the border restrictions. So last season, they played in Buffalo for the shortened season of 60 games. We made the playoffs. Um, we got eliminated early. It was a different playoff format last year. And this year, we split time between Dunedin, Florida. That's where the Blue Jays play their spring training games, and Buffalo, same place that we played last year. And Buffalo is where our Triple A affiliate, our minor league affiliate, plays. And so this is the first time coming up that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be playing in Toronto. It's unprecedented. It's never happened in the history of the sport. and the fact that Toronto is still in the mix of the playoffs is just goes to show how professional these players are, how dedicated they are to their craft, and I cannot wait to see them. So I just booked my flight today to Toronto. I booked a couple of games in Toronto. The It's funny though. I tried to get the opening game on July 30th, and I didn't even realize it. But I was at work and I was doing it. I was trying to book all this shit, and they were the tickets just I announced to me. I didn't even know that the tickets just went on sale, but I seen that they were on sale. So I'm trying to book them, and I'm trying to do this shit at work. It's kind of sketchy, you don't want to be on your phone at work. And tickets started at 125 bucks to get in the building on StubHub, and within like 20 minutes they were sold out for the first game. And at least on Ticketmaster, if you look on Ticketmaster, they're sold out because they're not selling out the whole place. They're only selling 15,000 of the. I think the capacity of the Rogers Center is like 51,000, and you stuff a couple more people in there, 52,000 maybe. Um, which is actually ironic that I bring that up because the first time I ever went to Toronto, this will be my second time. The first time I ever went to Toronto was also for a baseball game. And the craziest part of that is I went for a playoff game. It was back in 2016. I was moving out moving out of one of my places on Saskatchewan Drive, and I thought I was gonna get another place immediately, and we had nothing but a couch and a TV in the house after we moved everything out. Is the most beautiful penthouse suite, most beautiful view of Edmonton you ever seen in your life. And we were watching the wild card game, Toronto Blue Jays versus Baltimore Orioles. And during the middle of the game, I made my decision. Like, you know what? It's such a close game. I'm so invested in this team right now because like I've only seen them in the playoffs two times at that point in my life. I mean, I seen them when I was like 1 years old, but I don't remember that obviously. Um, so I made that my decision during that game. Like, you know what? Fuck getting a place immediately. I'm going to fuck it. I'm gonna go to Toronto if Toronto wins this. This was like during like the sixth or seventh inning when it was a close tie game. 50,000 people in the building. It was cheering. We were fucking on the edge of our seat, edge of the couch, watching it on a TV. Like we literally only had the couch and the TV and the fucking cable box in that bitch. After we moved everything out, because I knew that I wanted to watch that game. Like I'm the biggest baseball fan that any of you two or three people listening know. And so I made that decision. Game goes to fucking 10th inning. I'll never forget it. Edwin Encarnacion hits a home run. 10th inning. It's gone. He drops it. And I couldn't believe it. I jumped up and down like a little girl screaming. And I'm not even joking. I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to Toronto. So immediately I booked a flight right then for like 5 days later, ironically, which was not even that much more expensive than the flight I booked earlier today. And yeah, I went to Toronto later that week, and we were facing the Texas Rangers for the second year in a row because in 2015 we faced them, and we beat them, but we got beat in the ALCS by the Kansas City Royals. I don't get this mixed up because we got beat by Cleveland the next year, or vice versa. And so I booked a flight to Toronto, but I also paid for a ticket on I think it was StubHub or something on can't remember what website it was at the time for a ticket to Game 4 because I thought it would go at least 4 games. The thing about the first series of the MLB playoffs, it's the best of 5. So first one to 3. for all you dummies that don't know how to fucking add. Um, game. So I booked. I got a ticket to game 4 because I thought, shit, it's gonna at least go to game 4. So I'm sitting at home watching the first 2 games. We won the first 2 games. Long story short, right? We're destroying Texas Rangers for the second year in a row because in 2015 we were also facing the Texas Rangers and we beat them as well. So the second year in a row, we're up 2-0 after facing them, um, which is ironic that we're facing Texas second year in a row, and we had a lot of beef with them. Rug Netador and Jose Batista. If you guys know baseball, there was some punches thrown and shit. But anyways, um, up 2-0. I get to Toronto the morning of Game 3, and as I'm on the plane, as I'm going there, I'm like realizing like, yo, this might not even go to Game 4. Like the Blue Jays might sweep it in 3 games. I'm like, shit. So I can't remember how I realized that I had to go to the box office, or maybe someone told me that I had to go to the box office at Rogers Center. I think maybe someone told me, and if someone did, God bless them. They told me go to the. There's a box office at Rogers Center. Sorry, there's a Rogers Center, there's a Rogers Place, there's a Rogers Arena in Canada. They're in 3 different cities. Rogers Center is in Toronto, formerly known as the Sky Dome, and so I go there. I land in Toronto. I don't know, fucking 6 in the morning or some shit, 7 in the morning, because I left super like in the middle of the night. The red eye I think it was to Toronto, and land there. Take the train right to downtown, which I wish fucking Edmonton had a train from the airport to downtown. That's what big cities do, for fuck's sakes. Uh, Go downtown Toronto, get off the train, go right to fucking Rogers Center, and there's already like at least 50 people camped out all night waiting for tickets, doing the same thing as I. So it's like, I don't know, it's 8 o'clock in the morning or some shit. The box office opens at like 10, I think. And so I'm like, I'm just waiting there, shooting the shit with the other fans and whatnot, trying to pass the time. So finally the box office opens, and everyone's waiting for tickets to be released because what happens is these MLB teams and these big major sports leagues, they reserve tickets for the families and for players, friends, and various media or whatnot, right? And so that's what everyone was waiting for them to release these tickets that no one picked up of these ones that they reserved. And luckily, the first one that came up was an individual ticket. And thank God that everyone in front of me, everyone, like all the 50, 60 people that were waiting there, camped out all night, they were looking for groups of tickets, like twos, fours, whatever. The first individual ticket comes up, they're like, oh, yo, person at the front, there's a single ticket. Anyone want it? Anyone want it? I'm like the only fucking like single person there. I'm like, yes, I'll take it right fucking now, right to the front of the line. Bada boom, bada bing, in front of these people that were like camped out all night. Fucking take it. They're like, it's only gonna cost you $66 to get into a playoff game. I'm like, yes. Like, why is it so cheap? Oh, because it's slightly obstructed. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm getting in the building for this shit. No, I've been standing here for like 3 hours. I'm getting in the building for this shit. When it comes down to the slight obstruction was a little tiny little like barrier, like a little pole that blocks people from falling over to the like people coming out from the concourse. So it wasn't even anything. And it was perfect because it was right on the corner. I was able to jump up. I was right on the edge of the aisle, and I was able to jump up, scream like a fucking 12-year-old girl the whole game. I fucking loved it. It was like it was the biggest sporting experience of my life. It was 50,000 people there. The dome was closed, so it was loud as fuck. Um, any diehard Blue Jays fans, it was the Donaldson Dash. That was a game-clinching game. We never went to a game 4. We swept the Texas Rangers. We went to the next series, and oh my god, it was so fucking incredible. It was worth every penny, and it was like so many other trips I've done around the world where I just kind of, for lack of a better term, winged it and put my faith in God that he would he would help me figure it out, and I was totally able. I was totally good. I was totally good. Like I didn't have tickets to Game 3 when I went there, and I only had tickets to Game 4. Thank God, whichever site I was using um, reimbursed me for the Game 4, because that's kind of sketchy when you go through a resale site, and they reimbursed me for Game 4. I was able to witness Game 3. It was incredible. My first time in Toronto. Got to see the Hockey Hall of Fame, but I knew I was going to go back to Toronto eventually, so I didn't go. I was kind of quick through the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is an amazing place. I'm going to go there again when I go down there next weekend. And it was such an amazing experience. That was my first MLB game. It was a playoff game. It was a clinching game, and I'm standing in line for the tickets. People couldn't even believe it in line that like this is my first playoff game, because all these people are from Toronto and shit. Like, this is your first Major League Baseball game, and you're fucking here from Edmonton, and you're fucking standing in line for the tickets. What the fuck? People aren't used to this type of shit. The type of shit I do, because no one does the type of shit I do. So I'm super excited to go to Toronto. I'm gonna do the exact same thing because I have tickets to Game 2 and 3 of the series against Kansas City. The Toronto Blue Jays return home on the 30th, on the July 30th. That's the Friday. I get on the 29th. I have tickets to the 30th game and the 31st game because that's all I could obtain. Um, this morning when I was trying to book tickets to the 29th, I had to. Thank God my boss loves me. I was able to do a bunch of shit to go get my bank card and all this, but it was too late. By the time I grabbed my bank card and tried to book the tickets, Ticketmaster was like, "You're sold out. It's sold out," because they're not selling out the whole stadium. They are of the 50,000 seats that are in the Sky Dome, Rogers Center. They're only selling 15,000, so less than a third. So those tickets sold out in less than an hour for Game 1 against Kansas City. But I got tickets to Game 2 and 3. So what I'm gonna do is on the morning of the 30th, on the Friday, I'm gonna go right to Rogers Center and do the same thing. And hopefully they release tickets at the box office. I'll stand there all morning. I don't give a fuck. And hopefully I get tickets to that. In other MLB news, however, more Blue Jays news. My boy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Just putting up crazy fucking numbers. I seen a stat. Uh, he's like the youngest, or he's like the only player under 22 years old to hit 30 home runs in the first 80 games of a season since Joe DiMaggio. That's like I think he played it. It was like 1941 or some shit. Like the dude, Joe DiMaggio. I'm pretty sure that dude banged Marilyn Monroe back in the day. and and fucking Vlad is fucking putting up these numbers. So shout out to him. I love fucking Vladimir Guerrero. I'm gonna get his jersey. I can't wait to see him live. Shohei Ohtani, my God, this guy's fucking ridiculous. Oh, I wish I could go to LA right now and go watch him, but that border shit's a little sketchy. Guy has already 34 home runs, and he's still pitching like he's still putting up numbers that are crazier than a lot of like 80% of starters in the league. He's pitching better than most of the league. He's batting better than anyone in the league, and I just gotta shout him out every fucking time I bring this shit up because the guy is fucking amazing. Shohei Ohtani for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, or whatever they're calling themselves this year. They always change their fucking name. I got into that last time. Now to the National Hockey League. Man, do we got some news there? Hold on. We got a lot of news there. We got a lot of news there. I gotta take a little sip here. Oh yeah, because I want to switch it up. I got two keywords for you because it took so long. If you remember the first keyword and you remember what I'm giving away a $50 gift card to Wem for my like 2 or 3 listeners. Doesn't count. Hey, kids, doesn't count over there because you're here. So you guys don't qualify. I'm just for the listeners here. Does count. Okay, well if you listen to my other ones, maybe it does count. Okay, so I got 2 keywords for you right now. I'm not going to review the first one. You got to listen to the first one. 2 keywords here. This one right here. The first keyword will be what the fuck? Not that word. We'll go top. Nope. You gotta listen. Oh, why this? You're cheating. You can't be doing this. You gotta listen the whole thing though. I guess you've been listening to the whole thing. Okay. All right. Well, if you've been listening to all of these episodes, then you qualify. Yeah. And if a few people give me all the answers, then I'm gonna fucking I'll pick a name out of the hat. Okay, so top, T-O-P, and let's go. Hold on, gotta bring up the thesaurus here because I had another one in mind without using the thesaurus, but sometimes the dinosaurus mind forgets it. That's too much. That'd be too much for you fucking people. We'll go inside. So for you, all y'all people that actually keep a track, maybe like there's -3 of you. There's 3 keywords now. The first one you better have. These 2 you better have. I'll spell the first one out one more time, and I'll spell the second out just for the second time. First one is T-O-P. Second keyword is I-N-S-I-D-E. And I may as well throw in an ad for my homeboy. Yo, on a real level though, if any of y'all in my area need a fucking phone repair, I'm not even joking you. This dude fucking hooked me up mad, and I gotta give him a shout out. I have mad respect for this dude. If you add his page on Facebook, it's called Power Electronics and Phone Repair YEG. This guy, he fucking, oh my god, I don't even know if I can tell this without his consent, but he hooked me up. Um, a wicked deal, a way wicked deal from his house. Like he's got his own his own shit running now, and like his own like business and like his own thing going. And he didn't have to hook me up, but he did. And so um, again, look up his hand or his I don't know his page or whatever on Facebook. Phone electronics and phone or no power electronics and phone repair YEG. Like I'm looking at his page right now. Like he just did some laptops that he repaired. He did my S9. Like I he did it in like no time. It was actually quite astonishing. My screen was cracked, and he gave me a wicked deal on it. Again, that's power electronics and phone repair YEG. Look that up on Facebook if next time you break your phone, because shout out to him. Um, he doesn't even know I'm doing this, so I'm gonna tell him just a complimentary thing because he gave me such a deal. But now to the big NHL news. Our Edmonton Oilers, we lost Adam Larson to the Seattle Kraken, and yeah, he's our biggest defense, our best defenseman defensive wise. And the shittiest part of it, the shittiest fucking part of it, is he took the same deal. He took the same a year and amount that we offered him to go to Seattle. That was 4 years, $4 million a year, $16 million contract, the same exact offer. Uh, he wanted, yeah, he wanted to go. He wanted to go to Seattle. I mean, he's Swedish. He's kind of maybe he's a little diva, but I'm not gonna talk shit about him now because he played really well for us. He was he was uh he was clutch as far as shutting down the other teams in the regular season. It didn't happen so much in the playoffs. Um, so that I mean, you can look at it like fuck that guy, which I kind of am, but also it gives us room to sign some other players, and we have some eyes on some other players. Um, Zach Hyman from the Toronto Maple Leafs we're looking at, and it gives us a little more wiggle room in the cap. So it's not like a huge blow, but the fact that I just don't like the fact that he signed with another team for the same exact shit that we were willing to give him. But that's the business. Um, on a better note, though, my boy Mike Smith. Yo, this Mike Smith guy will fuck you up. I seen it live in February of 2020. He fucked up Cam Talbot so bad. I was there. It was amazing. That's a story for another podcast. I was fucking there. Maybe I told it on the last podcast because it was fucking awesome. This guy just a Mike Smith just gave it to your boy Cam Talbot. Right, boom, 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 boom. That's not what we signed him. We didn't sign him to be a fighter. We signed him to be a great goalie because I think he was 21-6 last year, an amazing record. And so we signed him to a 2-year, I think $2 million a year deal. The dude's 39. So if you were just looking at it on that basis, it's a crazy fucking ridiculous deal. But this guy had an amazing year last year, and I'm actually super glad that we signed him to that because if even if he has a bad year, which he won't, Dave Tippett, our coach, says he's in the best shape of anyone that he's met. Um, that he'll have a great year. Well, he had a great year last year, but he's in the best shape ever. So he's not. He's like in my sister's Naomi shape. He's 39, but he's in like 24-year-old shape, right? He's in the prime of his career. He's in the prime. That doesn't sound dumb. You're in the prime. Yeah, whatever. Numbers are numbers, and his numbers are spectacular last year. And I'm so glad we re-signed him, and so we have him back. Seattle Kraken took Larson. They took Giordano from the Calgary Flames, their captain, which is going to be good for us because they lost their best defenseman too, as did we. I don't know if Larson was our best defenseman, but he was like right there. He was our best defensive defenseman, and so Calgary lost theirs, which is fine. Um, Seattle has been. They have a lot of cap room left, so they're gonna do some shit that Vegas didn't do, even though Vegas was exempt from the fucking expansion draft, which is bullshit because they make the playoffs every fucking year. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Like it's so unfair. Like we wait 13 years as Oilers fans to get in the playoffs like once or twice, and they're able to fucking Vegas gets in the playoffs every single year and goes deep. Like that's bullshit. Um, but so Vegas is exempt from the expansion draft. Montreal, a lot of people expected Montreal to protect Carey Price from the expansion draft because teams are allowed to protect a certain amount of players, and Carey Price wasn't protected. One of the best goalies in the league, and so everyone, including myself, thought that Carey Price was going to get selected by Seattle. They passed on him. They passed on him. So um, the Carey Price that brought them to the Stanley Cup Finals and gave me so much hope to go to Montreal isn't signed by Seattle, but um, I guess they have him for hopefully another playoff run the uh, if the age doesn't get to him because he's getting up there. But so is Mike Smith, and you know what Smith's doing, and you can see what Price did. And I was supposed to go to Montreal, right? I had so many hopes, I was supposed to start this podcast. Well, not supposed to start this podcast to go to Montreal, but it was kind of our launching point. Like, yo, this would be a cool thing if we started this podcast and we document going to Montreal and all that, the lead up to Montreal, and then Montreal loses in the finals. But only one team can win, and the other 30 or whatever they lose. But maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I'm going to Toronto instead, right? Going to Toronto next week for the Blue Jays, and fuck, I cannot wait. Before I wrap things up here, just some other news in football. Football starts very soon. Can't wait for the Edmonton Eskimos. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna still call them the Esks. They play soon. They play. I think their opening game is August 7th. If I have time, if I'm gonna be working so much, I'm not even sure I'm gonna be able to make it to the game. But try to make it to as many games as I can. They open against the Red Blacks. Stoked for that. The largest, what is it? Fred Warner of the San Francisco 49ers signs the highest contract in the NFL when it comes to linebackers. This linebacker, this fucking linebacker, signs a 5-year, $95 million contract. 40 and a half of which is guaranteed. Woo! Guy's only 24. That's incredible. This linebacker. What the fuck? 5-year, 95 million? It's almost $20 million a year to tackle shit. Good on him. It just shows you how much money fucking the NFL makes, and it's quite something. On Olympic news, because Olympics are coming up, I'm going to be talking a lot about the Olympics this summer. I'm super stoked for it. Hopefully Canada can represent, like straight up, because fuck, that would be awesome if we get some medals in the summer games, because fuck, we only have summer for like 3 months out of the fucking year. The Winter Olympics though, the NHL players haven't competed in the Winter Olympics since what was it, 2010, since the golden goal, or was it 2014? I don't know. I'm not gonna look it up. I'm not gonna pretend to know, but it's been a long time, and there's been a lot of players, including Connor McDavid, that want to compete in the Olympics. And the NHL schedule was released today, and they have left room for an Olympic break. And the league is in talks with the OEC, the Olympics organization or whatever they are, about just the logistics of it, because there's a lot of shit that has to be taken care of. Like, I understand where the NHL comes from. They don't want to release their players and risk injury to the Olympics. And if they do, they want, there's a lot of money involved and a bunch of logistics and a bunch of bullshit. But I really, really hope it happens, and because there's nothing better than seeing the best of the best compete on the Olympic stage. And you ask any NHL player, they would die and they would fucking just love to go to the Olympics. Connor McDavid, you could see it in his face whenever he's asked about the Olympics. He wants to go there. And so hopefully it happens. The fact that the NHL kept it open, I think that was part of the agreement between the NHL and the NHLPA when they signed their last collective bargaining agreement, that they would um, really, really try to get the players there. I think they may have even said they're going to get the players there, but yeah. So hopefully that happens. I'm sure there's other news in this week in sports, or these weeks in sports, that I missed, but shit happens, and I appreciate you all listening. And I gotta give a shout out to my sister Naomi, her girlfriend Normie, and letting me fucking talk my shit on this fucking radio station. I'll leave you guys with one more story. Yo, Naomi, remember when we were fucking rolling to Cold Lake, right? And the Lex, and that dude was trailing us, and then passing us, and then trailing us, and then pulls up right next to us.
Oh my god, with the sign.
This guy has a fucking sign. This guy's like obviously mentally ill, but it was hilarious. I thought about that today. I know what it says. He has a little sign. It's all crumpled up. It's not even like a fucking billboard or anything. It's a little sign. It's like a little piece of paper. It's all crumpled up. He shows it to us as he's driving by us, and it says, no. I know it's in red and shit. It's fucking ridiculous. This guy's like driving like an idiot, but he passes us. Well, barely. He like drives right next to us, and it says, "Can't fix stupid."
Oh yeah, so dumb.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Sports. I'm your host, Josh Jacko, and we'll see you next time.